What is up, everybody? Welcome to another video. This is actually one I filmed a long time ago, back in 2018. It is a video buying Wish items and testing them out. Now, spoiler alert, only 2 of these items actually function and work. The other 3 just kind of died. So that's why this video has not been put out, but I figured might as well put out content that is content. So here's a decently okay video about some not so great Wish items that I bought. So let's just get into it. The first item I was looking at was a GorillaPod type deal. I found a really cheap one on Wish. I think I paid like $3 to $5 for it. I mean, you can see it right here. I think I paid around $5. I looked around just to find a random one, and there's not really one that's worse or better than the next on Wish. I couldn't tell you what could possibly make it better other than some are bigger than the next. So, and I wasn't so sure on what the next item I wanted to be. However, I did find when I searched camera a cheap GoPro alternative. So I ended up finding a really cheap one of those. I tried to find one that had 4K or 1080, 24 frames or higher. And the one I bought technically did say 4K and in the description said 30 frames per second. However, you will see later that it actually does not do 4K or 1080 24. It does 1080 15 frames per second, which is very useless. And it also does 720 at 30 frames, I believe. So I think I paid around $15 for this, and it wasn't very special. So the next item was a microphone, and I kind of had high hopes for this just because it's a microphone. I mean, they make really cheap ones that go in your phones. So, but I bought one for $11, and we'll take a look at that later. I looked at buying a drone, but none of them were cheap. So I ended up going with an SD card that's supposed to be, apparently in the picture it says SanDisk, which is a lie. I just bought it because it was an SD card for $5, 64 gigs. And it ended up being King Sane's something branded when I actually got it, and it was not good, so don't buy that. The next item here is a ND filter. I looked for a variable neutral density filter and ended up paying around $12 for that. And I got one that would fit my lens. And this was one of the items that did work, but it wasn't the best quality. But it would work if you're on a huge budget and you want to wait 3 weeks to get it. All right, so now let's just wait 5 seconds and we'll go to the future. So we have all of our stuff from Wish here. I kind of already opened this one. We're gonna start with the one that's already open. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. It's tiny. Here's a comparison with my hand. It's got a regular microphone input for your camera. Got an on and off button, and it looks like it's got higher decibel. Frequency response is 30 hertz to 15,000 hertz. So we're gonna test this bad boy out in a little bit. Next, we're gonna go with the GorillaPod. I've been looking forward to this. So this comes off, and you have the smaller screw plate that goes on here. It feels decent, I guess. It's not terrible. This part here, the very top joint, is really loose. As you can see, I can just move it with my finger just by like barely tapping it. That's pretty cheap, but the rest of them are pretty strong, actually. It's got nice grips on it though. This is our SD card. It says Extreme Pro on it. It's in yellow. It's got a yellow thing on the side, kind of like the counterfeit SanDisk. It feels extremely cheap. Like I basically 3D printed this. That's kind of what it feels like. The very top here, it says Kim's Knot. So we're gonna put this over here. This is the filter. It comes in this little case here. Ugh. Can you hear that? It makes an extremely ugly noise when you turn it. This goes from ND2 to 400, which is quite a bit. I don't know what mine goes to, but as you can see, it does work as an ND filter when you turn it, which is pretty nice. We're gonna see how it does. This is the final product, which is our, I think, $12 GoPro. the box is a little destroyed from traveling overseas. The title, they're very long, awesome titles. It says waterproof 30 meters, 4K Wi-Fi 1080p Ultra Sports Action Camera. In the title, it says it does 4K, and I think that's why I bought it. So I'm kind of mad that it barely even does 1080. You got a mounting plate, another thing to mount. Looks like we have a holder to put it on a tripod or something. You got your standard waterproof case here. This waterproof case is probably more expensive and nicer than the actual camera itself. This, again, feels like I literally 3D printed it. I have no idea what I'm doing. This thing is impossible. So we'll try to test this out. I'll put a SD card in it and we'll see what happens. Let's test out this shotgun mic. I don't even think it's gonna turn on. What the heck is this? That is not a AA battery. So I'm pretty sure it's broken out of the box. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but when I turn it on, this red light will flicker, but it won't stay on. Number two, we've got this flimsy-dimsy GorillaPod. This is the GorillaPod I got. This is my Joby GorillaPod. As you can see, there's a huge difference. So there's that. This isn't obviously as heavy as like a 1DX or anything, but I mean, it holds it if you're on a surface that is sticky, where the actual grips can stick to it. But I mean, we could. It made a cracking noise, so I don't know. Pretty wobbly if you were to use it as a tripod. Maybe if you want to use it for vlogging, that might work for, I think it was like $5. You could do this. I mean, this works pretty well. So in all reality, it's for $3, this is quite good quality, I'm not gonna lie. I would recommend this 100% if you're looking for a very cheap GorillaPod that you're not looking to use as a tripod. I definitely wouldn't use it as a tripod. I would only use it as like a handle or to wrap around a tree or something if you're gonna use it that way. Next, we've got this neutral density filter that makes really ugly noises. I'm just gonna put it on my camera, and while I'm outside, I'll take this guy, I'll get a few shots, and then we'll take this SD card, we'll throw it in my camera, I'll shoot, and we'll see if this card survives. Now, by all means, never buy an SD card from Wish, ever. I have used one in the past and it just died randomly, lost all my footage. It wasn't for something important. We're gonna test these three things, and I'll put the footage right here and we'll see what it looks like. All right, and all right, so I tested out the things, all right, and they were terrible, except for the filter. That thing was, all right, so let me go over a few things. One, that GoPro action camera thing was garbage. I couldn't stop recording. It just wouldn't let me stop recording. It just continuously was recording until I changed modes. I tried to get footage in 720 and 1080, but I think it just all went in 1080. But you'll see that footage in a second. I'll put it up right now. The filter was pretty impressive for, I think, $12 I paid for it. It maintained the image pretty well. There wasn't much vignetting. There was a little bit when you got to a really dark phase, the center would be darker than the outside, which usually is the opposite with ND filters. If you're looking for a cheap filter, I would probably look on eBay, because even though it's from eBay, it's gonna be a little bit cheaper, but at least you, for one, will get it quicker, and you can get it for around the same price, and it won't be as bad. That one was just terrible. When you turned it, it was like sticky and made noises. Anyway, lastly, remember how I said not to buy SD cards from Wish? Well, don't buy them from Wish. I tried to record, 1080 worked fine. That one didn't stop me, I don't think. But once I got to 60 frames, it stopped me after maybe 5 seconds, maybe a little bit longer. And then when I got to 4K 24 frames, it literally stopped the movie recording about 3 seconds after recording a video clip. So this SD card cannot handle even 1080 or 720. That's it for today, guys. If you like this video, hit that like button, and if you like this content, hit that subscribe button. Thank you again, guys, for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one.